We're recording. This is our team call, and the topic tonight is expanding your network. And I'm really excited about this because I think a lot of times when you're working this business and you're rocking and rolling, you go through your warm network, but then all of a sudden you get stuck and you're talking to the same fence sitters over and over and over, and you feel like you're out of people. And so that's where knowing how to expand your network really comes into play, right? So that's what we're going to talk about tonight. I actually have 7 tips. So tonight, while you're on, I don't want you to be checking Messenger, checking Facebook, on your email. I actually want you to take these tips and write them down. And then the rest of the week, I want you to do them. Give me 1 second because I locked one of my dogs in my office. There you go, Elvis. Okay. Sorry about that. And as always on these calls, chat if you have a question, unmute yourself. I definitely would love some engagement. And if you guys have done any of these tips and have had success, or if you have any questions, feel free. Let's chat, okay? But one of the most important things to continuing to grow your business and your team is to always be expanding your network. If you've been on the call for the book study we're doing, one of the things we talked about last week is your list. And she said to look at your list as like a bank account. So when someone comes off of your list because they've joined or they've ordered, you have to add somebody else in, right? So, and I know for a lot of you guys that sounds really scary, especially maybe if you're a green or you're an introvert. Just thinking of having to talk to more people can be really, really scary. It's way outside of your comfort zone and it doesn't sound fun. I get it, but it's something you need to do. And for me, it's actually one of the best things I love about Plexus. It makes me friendlier, right? It's really true. So I don't want you to think about this when we go over these tips. I don't want you to think about it as finding people for Plexus, right? Just think of it as being open to making new friends. And I think when you get into that mindset, it takes the pressure off a little bit, right? But guys, this is something you have to be intentional about. Growing your network is something that isn't just going to happen. You actually need to take the time to do it every week. Just like when you clock into your day job, there's certain things you have to do. It's the same thing with your Plexus business. And expanding your network is just one of those things you have to do. The good news is you can grow your network in a lot of different ways. So tonight we're going to cover the most popular and the most successful ways that other people have had success with. We're going to walk through them. And then what I want you guys to do is I want you to commit to doing these for the rest of the week, okay? Everybody ready? All right. So the very first one, and you may have already heard about this, it's Facebook groups, okay? There are tons of jewels who swear by doing this, and it's where most people have found many of their level ones. The very first diamond in Canada, she signed with her upline because of a Facebook group. And it really works, okay? But I'm going to tell you there's some tricks to it, and there's some strategy behind it. You guys might not know it, but on Facebook there are groups for anything and everything. These groups are full of people who have probably never heard of Plexus, or if they have, they've never tried it. So using the social media aspect of these groups is huge. It allows you to widen your relationships and your network, and you don't even really ever have to leave your house. Okay, so one thing though to think about before we talk about all of these, most of these tonight are social media based. I've grown my team on Facebook and social media. Doesn't mean I don't talk about Plexus in person, but I really, really maximize social media. However, if you are not using attraction marketing at the same time, so if you're posting a lot of stuff that's negative, you're complaining, and you're not really drawing people into your post, or maybe you only post once or twice a week, all of these strategies for expanding your network aren't going to be effective, because we're going to expand our network during this call. But once you expand it and you've added them on Facebook, you have to have a Facebook profile that's going to draw them in. So that's a separate training. We've talked about that before, but just keep that in mind that once you expand, you still have to use attraction marketing, okay? So back to these Facebook groups. The key though is you can't just join them and then hope the magic happens, right? You actually have to join them, and then you have to become an active participant in the group. when you're active in the group, it makes people want to know more about you, know who you are, what you're about. And so I'm going to show you how to do that. And there's actually a couple people on the call that are only on our Plexus team because of a Facebook group. And it was actually pre-Plexus, right? So pre-Plexus, Jen Buckley, her and I met on a message board about Jamaica and became friends. And Shelly, same with you and Amy, right? You guys only met because of our Jamaica group, our Facebook group that we're on. I don't know if anybody else is on because of a group, but that's how we got to know each other. So that's what we're going to talk about. When you join these groups, first thing I want you to do, I want you to go find 5 to 10 Facebook groups that are personal to you, okay? And by personal, guys, there are so many groups out there. It could be anything. Clothing resale, cooking, camping. If you are in 4-H, if your kids are show animals, if you live in RV, if you have any hobbies, kayaking, photography, yoga, CrossFit, if you like to shop, if you like Kendra Scott earrings, there's a Kendra Scott group. I mean, anything you could think of, single moms, working moms, nursing moms, coaches' wives, army wives, cancer moms, homeschoolers, grandparents, aunts, uncles. I mean, it's out there. If you're a nurse, there's nurse groups out there. There's, nurses of multiple kids. There's nurses who are grandmas. I mean, there are so many groups out there I can't even tell you. Now, one thing to keep in mind, there's also a lot of groups out there for or diseases you have. One thing about that, I just want to caution you guys. Those groups are fine. And a lot of times people think that those are the groups I'm talking about when I tell them to go join groups. That's not necessarily the case, because what I have found, and this isn't for all people in all groups, but one thing I found about those groups, those people in those groups don't actually really want to get better. They just like to complain about being unhealthy or being sick in those groups. And anytime somebody offers up a solution or a suggestion, they're actually pretty mean. So I would not go to those groups right off the bat, especially if you are not suffering from that health issue. Okay, so that's just something to keep in mind. So the first thing you're going to do, you're going to find groups that you can join, that you have fun in. Don't join something that you don't really like, okay? Don't join something just to join it. It really has to be something that you would like to do. All right, so you can search the tab bar at the top. You could type in a keyword, and when it pulls up all the finds, it'll give you different categories, like all the searches, people, posts. Then you can click groups, and it'll show you just the groups that have that keyword in it, okay? It will give you tons to join. You usually want to join one with a lot of members, because then that group is going to have a lot of activity, okay? So that's part one to the Facebook groups. That's the first thing you have to do. The second thing you guys have to do, you have to make your Facebook posts public. Now, you don't have to make your entire Facebook page public, but you have to make some of your personal posts and some of your Facebook posts public. And here's why. Because as you start engaging in these groups and you start answering people's questions or commenting or replying, people are going to face stalk you. That's what people on Facebook do. If they click on your profile and they see nothing but Plexus posts, because, right, they're not going to friend request you first, they're going to face stalk you. If they see nothing but public Plexus posts, they're going to think you're only on Facebook to sell Plexus. They are not going to engage with you. They're not going to friend request you, okay? Even on your profile about me, I took mine off that somebody who is not a friend cannot see anything about Plexus. Because a lot of times people have, they're very judgy and they have preconceived notions about network marketing. A lot of times they won't even add you to their group if they see that you work for a network marketing company. And as cruddy as that is, you don't want people to prejudge you. So if there's anything we can do to prevent that, that's what I do. So you can click on your profile and you can look and view it as someone else, and you can view your profile as public so you can see what it looks like. All right. Now, a lot of people, I do a lot of my Adelaide posts public because honestly, in this day and age, there isn't anything people can't find. But I totally understand if you don't want to do that. But like your puppy pictures, make some of those public. Make your other posts that are non-Plexus, make some of them public, just so when people click on your profile, right, they're not seeing all of these just Plexus posts, okay? So that's the second thing you want to do. Then the third thing, and this is something you may need to put into your weekly Plexus work schedule, you have to engage in these groups, okay? You can't just join and hope. You have to join them, and then you've got to let others see you and make yourself known. You have to start interacting, commenting, posting, all right? So that's what you need to do. One thing that helped me get a lot of people from Jamaica is because I freaking love Jamaica, and I've been to the resort we go to so many times that when I'm on their page, I'm answering all kinds of people's questions in that group. They're asking everything from, are there irons in the room, to what's your favorite drink? Can someone recommend where we should go to dinner? And I'm just answering all kinds of people's questions, and then I just become known in that group, right? And then when I'm going on vacation, I would put my countdown and I would post pictures. So then, then you get to know other people that are commenting, and we start friend requesting each other. That's how I got to know Jen and Amy Folkens from that group. And that's how we friended each other, just because we were all the time posting and I'm answering a lot of people's questions. So if it's that type of group where you happen to be maybe an expert or you have a lot of knowledge, you can do that. It's also how I got to friend Dylan Hughes on our team. Her and I were in a Fit Mommy group, and I just kind of became the resident breastfeeding expert and helped a lot of mommies with breastfeeding, and we all friended each other, okay? But maybe you're not an expert in something and you don't have a lot of questions to answer. One thing you can do when you join this group, now depending upon the group rules, some groups have really crazy rules, and if they do, I would maybe be hesitant of joining that group, but you can post and introduce yourself. This is a really, really good thing when you join a group. Post a picture of you and your family. When I joined the Weimaraner group, I posted a picture of me and Adelaide and Steve and our Weims, and I got tons of people commenting. You can also ask a question, right? Ask a question, tell them thanks for adding me to the group, let them know a little bit about yourself, and then ask a question, okay? But then as people are commenting, you want to reply to their comment. You just don't want to post a question and then answer. You want to reply, okay? So I know this seems like a lot of work, but it really isn't. You really just need to have fun with it. And it's all about making new friends and opening yourself to new relationships, okay? So that's the first thing you do with those groups. Really take the time to engage, right? Now, you don't want to spend like hours at a time, which is what I used to do at work years ago when I worked in Tennessee. I would be on that Jamaica message board like all day long at my day job sometimes. So don't do that. Definitely schedule it and set a timer so you're not spending all of your productive activity in those groups, okay? Then what you want to do though, guys, is as people are commenting and you find that you're engaging with people, you want to send them a friend request. Super easy, okay? So my second tip of the night are friend requests. People who grow their network, do you know they aim for no less than 15 new friends a day? Okay, so there's a couple ways you can do that. All the people in those new groups you join that you're interacting with, send them a friend request. But write their names down on a piece of paper, because I promise you're going to forget all these people you friend requested, okay? So as you're sending friend requests, write their names down on your master list. Then, as they accept your friend request, highlight them, put a star by them, something, so you know who they are. Then you're going to start just engaging with them and being their friend and commenting on their posts, right? Another way to do friend requests, sorry, I lost the chat there for a second. Another way to do friend requests is from the Facebook suggested friends list. Now, if you've been in Plexus for a while, if you got a lot of Plexus friends, you're going to notice that suggested friends list is because you have 200 mutual Plexus friends. These are not people you want to expand your network, right? I'm talking people you went to high school with, college with, grade school with, those suggested friends, right? Look and see who your mutual friends are. And if it's just all Plexus people, then you don't want to add them as a friend, right? Another way, though, to add friends, go look at your husband's friends list, your partner's friends list, your sister's friends, your mom's friends, your parents' friends, okay? The other way you can friend request people is just who are you around often? Do you take a yoga class that you're in often and the same two other women are in there every single week or every other week with you? Start engaging with them and add them to Facebook. Okay. There's a girl that came to my gym and I just happened to notice that she prints t-shirts. Well, guess what? I told her I wanted to see the t-shirt she printed and she added me to her business page. And then I just sent her a friend request. That's been about a month ago. She came over and got a couple samples of Slim, and she's going to go out with us on Saturday to girls' night, right? And so that was just somebody I'd seen at the gym a few times, started paying attention to what she was talking about, and then added her on Facebook, okay? So what else do you do often? I know Tammy, I don't know if she's on the call. She was talking about how she wants to expand her network. Her husband and her teach scuba all the time. So the people that are in their scuba class, add them on Facebook. Again, you're not looking for customers or ambassadors. You're just looking for new friends. That's all you're doing, right? If these people never order Plexus, that's fine. That's great. It's okay to have a new friend. Okay, so think of different ways to add friends. If you're at the nail salon, maybe there's someone you see in there all the time you could add to Facebook, all right? So that's the second tip. The third tip tonight, guys, so Jen Buckley, it's been huge for her. She adds, I can't even tell you how many people a day she adds on Facebook. But that is something you guys have been wondering, like, how did she add 25 people in May and June each month? She started expanding her network and just adding tons of people. Now, when you're in these Facebook groups and you're adding people, you are not talking about Plexus, okay? When you're in these groups we talked about, you don't ever post about Plexus. That is not why you're in these groups. You're in these groups to have fun and engage and just make new friends, okay? So don't go in and post about Plexus. That's not what we're looking to do, okay? The third way to expand your network is actually outside of Facebook. It's Instagram, okay? Now, Facebook is still the major platform. It still has way more users than Instagram, and Instagram is really just photos and videos. They do have a messaging capability, but you'll get more interaction from people on Facebook. But Instagram is a great way to expand your network, and there's two ways to do it, all right? Now, if you're not on Instagram, that's fine. You can join Instagram. It really is, all you do is just post pictures all day long, all right? But you do not want to post a ton of Plexus posts on Instagram when you're brand new, because on Instagram, it doesn't work with friends. It works with followers. People click and follow you on Instagram. So it's best, if you're looking to expand your network, you want to have a public profile, and you want to start posting things that engage people, and so they start following you. If you get on there and right away starts posting Plexus stuff and you're salesy or something, they're not going to follow you. Even if you only post pictures of you and your pink drink, they're not going to follow you. So there's two ways to get people to follow you. One is you can actually go follow people that you like, right? If there's bloggers you like, if there are inspirational people you like to follow, you can not only follow them, you can then go look at their followers, because then you know you and their followers have the same interest, right? Let's say you follow John Maxwell on Instagram, you could see who else follows him and start following some of those people. And normally on Instagram, if you follow somebody, they're going to follow you back, okay? So that's one way. The other thing on Instagram though, guys, which is huge, it is the hashtags. And hashtags are really how you get new followers and really how people find you, okay? Here's how they work. There are popular hashtags. When you're on Instagram and you upload a picture, you want to use hashtags. And I'll give you an example of one I just did. I use it a lot. I posted a video of Adelaide on the treadmill, and I just said they are always watching, okay? When you start then to type in the hashtag and you start to type it, Instagram gives you suggestions of hashtags that are popular. You want to select those popular hashtags.
So make sure.
Okay. So I hashtag fit family, healthy family, treadmill, running, cardio day, healthy kids, right? All of those things that come up. Every time I do those very popular hashtags, I get new followers. All right. And so that is something you want to do, is use those hashtags, use the popular ones. And Facebook really isn't, people hashtag a lot on Facebook, but people don't find people by hashtags on Facebook. They do on Instagram. So it's okay when you post a picture on Instagram to have 30 hashtags. It's fine, especially if it's a popular one. And you can think outside of the box on this, guys. You can think of, just popular hashtags, even if it's a stretch to have to do with what you want. Because a lot of people, when they're looking for people to follow, they're going to click on, let's say, Fit Family, and they're going to see all the posts that day of people who hashtag Fit Family, and they're going to decide who they want to follow, all right? So that's a really, really good way to expand your network. The fourth way to expand your network are groups, but these are real life groups, okay? Real life. And this is something that I've realized this month I have to do better because, guys, there are groups, clubs, meetings, and activities in your neighborhoods, in your communities, and you can be a part of it to expand your network, but also just to get involved. And I know a lot of you guys are thinking, oh my gosh, Amy, my plate is way too full as it is. How the heck am I going to have time to actually do something outside of my normal schedule, okay? And so it doesn't have to be a lot, but just to get your wheels turning, here are some ideas, right? There's MOPS, which is Moms of Preschoolers. There's Bible study groups, book clubs, Bunko, which I don't play, but Bunko, my neighborhood has a Bunko group. Story time at the library. There's actual networking groups like, the Chamber of Commerce, or here we have the Small Business Development Center, and they have like a networking group that meets monthly. There's the PTO, there's running groups, there's walking groups. And here's the other cool thing, guys. If your neighborhood doesn't have a walking group, you can start one, okay? If your neighborhood doesn't have a Facebook page, start it and invite your neighbors to it. There's painting classes at the craft store. There's nonprofits. There's volunteers. You don't have to do something every day, every week. It can be once a month. It can be something that meets every other month. But this is a great way not only to just, give back to your community, but it's a great way to expand your network. So the other thing I want you to do is just think about what types of groups or activities you might even be interested in. Because again, you're not joining something just to expand your network. It has to be something you like, okay? So if you don't have preschool kids, then obviously you're not going to seek out a MOPS group, right? But write down 3 things that maybe you would like to look into. I know I messaged my friend Kim last night or a couple days ago about her volunteer work that she does through the United Way. I joined a running group. I've gotten out of that, but I might get back into that running group. So think about that, all right? And then what I want you guys to do, once you write down what activities or some things you might be interested in, I want you to figure out if any of those are available in your neighborhood, okay, or your community. And the easiest way to do that is to post on Facebook. So I want you guys to post on Facebook something like, hey guys, I really would like to join a Bunko group. Are any of my friends in one? And does my neighborhood have one? You could also say something like, hey guys, I would love to start a book club in my neighborhood or a monthly wine night. Whatever you guys want to do, post on Facebook, see what's already out there. Or you can also, that's a great way to engage your neighbors, or maybe some people that you have been nervous to talk to about Plexus. Engage them and ask them if they're in any of these groups. Okay, so that's one. Then, guys, this is the hard part. Once you figure out when they are, you actually have to go, all right? Once you decide on what your 3 groups are and you figure out when they meet next, you actually have to go. Now, doesn't mean you're going to do it forever. Just go to see if it's something you want to be a part of, right? And if it fills your bucket and it expands your network at the same time, that's awesome, okay? And this can even be activities, guys. Like Sarah and Lee Cunningham, they do a cornhole tournament during cornhole season. Like, who knew that was even a thing? So they're doing that as a couple, actually as a family, because they take Connor, but that's expanding their network. It's something fun. They don't mind doing it. So anything like that too, bowling league, anything like that that gets you out of the house is going to expand your network. Okay. The fifth one, and this really goes for people that just have kids, or even I guess you could, use your grandkids. It's their activities. Kids are in a lot of stuff, especially the older they get, right? This time of year, you're either on a soccer field, a baseball field, a softball field, you're at cheer, you're at dance, you're at gymnastics, you're somewhere where there are a lot of people and they're all focused on their kid. But that also means there's a lot of people for you to get to know, okay? So this is your fifth tip. If you have kids and you're running them everywhere, so everyone who comes to me and is like, oh my gosh, I'm so busy with all my kids, I don't have time for Plexus. I'm like, you have the best network for Plexus, right? Because if let's say you're at a game and you're taking pictures of kids, and you should take pictures of all the kids and then ask the parents to friend them on Facebook so you can send them pictures of their kids. That's an easy way to friend all of the parents of the cheerleading squad or the soccer team, right? Or if you have a roster, right, you can obviously go through and friend request them from the roster. Like sometimes coaches share the rosters. But taking pictures of the kids is a great way to make friends with some of those parents. You just want to be friendly and social, right? Make small talk, get their names, ask how long they've been coming, if they're new to the league, whatever. But use that as an opportunity to engage with other parents, right? And again, you're not talking about Plexus. That takes the pressure off. Don't even worry about Plexus. You're just looking to make new friends, okay? The Plexus stuff comes later. That's the social marketing, the attraction marketing we're talking about that we'll talk about later. Right now, you're just making new friends, okay, guys? The other thing I like is referrals. So this is the number 6 way to expand your network. And a lot of times we forget about this. There's a diamond who says, one of her favorite quotes is, it's not just about who you know, it's about who you know and who they know, right? So one of the easiest way to expand your networks is to go through your own friends and family. They can be the connectors for people that you don't know, right? People who need our business, people who need our product. So there's a couple ways you can do this. You can flat out ask for referrals, right? You can ask your friends and family. You can ask your close family, your siblings, your mom, your dad, your grandma. You can ask them if you can tag them in some of your Plexus posts. I do that with my dad pretty often. I have gotten 7 or 8 customers and 6 or 7 ambassadors because I've tagged my dad in some of my posts. And then his friends end up seeing them and they message me. So that is kind of an indirect referral. You certainly would want to ask them if you could do that. Most people, if they support you, they'd be totally fine with it. Especially a lot of times my dad shares my posts. I'm like, well, it'd be better to just tag him in it anyway, right? The other thing you can do kind of with them, remember, is you can look at their friends list, and if there's anybody you're not friends with, you can always send them a friends request. But you can also just flat out ask for referrals. This is really good too for people who maybe aren't interested. They keep telling you they're not interested in working the business. Like if you have customers or wholesale ambassadors and they're not interested in the business, tell them that's okay. Can you send me your referrals? Can you send me some people that you think might be interested in Plexus? Do you know anyone who has migraines? Do you have friends who struggle with staying awake or anything like that, right? Now, what normally happens, very rarely will they say, yeah. Most likely they're going to say, well, sure, but does that mean you get paid? And you're going to say yes. And they're going to say, well, maybe I am interested in working the business. Okay. You also can do a referral program. You guys know I don't push you have to spend money to make money. But sometimes if you have some really good customers, loyal customers, it's okay to give them a free product for every 3 referrals that place an order. You can give them a coupon. You can do a customer referral program and tell them, hey, I know you love the products. If you have anyone that you think might be suffering with diabetes, migraines, or IBS, I would appreciate if you sent them my way. Okay, so referrals are a great way to expand your network, especially with people that you don't necessarily know. Okay. Then the last tip, you have to get out of the house. And this is where I realized this week, I am like, I've got to. When Sarah and Lee came to visit us over the weekend, legit on Friday, we went grocery shopping, we went to the liquor store, and we had lunch, and we never left the house. I had everything delivered. So to expand your network, you have to get out of the house, guys, okay? So skip the drive-through, go into the coffee house, go into Starbucks, go into Chick-fil-A, okay? And all you're doing is you're just opening yourself up to relationships and you're being friendlier, okay? So don't have Instacart deliver your groceries every single week. Get to the grocery store, chat with the cashier, chat with the bagger, right? You're just expanding your network because you never know when you're friendlier if somebody is going to say something that you could relate to Plexus, add them on Facebook right then, and you could help them. You never know. And you won't know unless you're being friendly to them, right? It's not about puking Plexus on them or even bringing up Plexus. It's just being open to being friendly and seeing what they say and seeing if you can help them with something, okay? So talk to the cashier. Instead of the ATM, get out of the car and go in and have a teller give you the cash, right? Talk to the person next to you at the pedicure place. Talk to the person. Don't put your books in the book return at the library. Go in and hand them to the person at the desk. Engage people. Be friendly. And this is a hard one for me. Not the being friendly part. Like, I love Plexus because it's made me a friendlier person. I think you guys have heard me say that I used to be the person that, like, when I went into the nail salon, my head was down. I was like, don't talk to me. I'm not here to make friends, right? It was my time at the salon. But one of my closest friends, who our kids play together now, and I'm going to go see her for lunch again, I only met her because I engaged her at the salon. Her and the nail girl, we were separated by a person. She was one over from me. And when she started laughing, I overheard her telling a story about her daughter. And I said, oh, how old's your daughter? And she said 4. I said, oh, I have a 4-year-old too. She goes, oh, yeah. We could have just stopped it there. But I was like, nope, I'm going to make new friends because of Plexus, right? Not thinking new customer, just I'm going to make new friends. And so I said, I've not seen you here. Do you come to this nail salon often? She says, yeah, I actually come all the time. And I said, that's odd. I've never seen you here. And I come all the time too. I live near here. My kiddo goes to school close by. And that just led us to chatting back and forth over the nail tech. And, 20, 30 minutes later, I was done before her, and I just went up and I said, hey, I really enjoyed chatting with you today. Can I add you to Facebook? Maybe we can do lunch sometime. And she's like, that would be fantastic. And then I messaged her when I got home and said, hey, let's meet for lunch next week. And we did. I never brought up Plexus. I never mentioned Plexus. Now at lunch, she asked me what I did. Of course, I gave her my little quick spiel. Never, said, hey, have you ever heard of it? Have you tried it? None of that, because I honestly was looking to make a new friend, a new mom friend. And I did. Now, a couple months later, she became my customer because obviously she'd seen my posts. And hopefully here she's going to upgrade in the next couple months. But it's all about expanding your network. So just think about being friends and getting out of the house. This one's hard for me, though, because I love social media. Social media is easier. It is easier to add 25 friends in one day with a couple of clicks and to engage with all 25 of them with a post than it is to actually go to the store and do all these things and engage people one-on-one. But some of your best ambassadors, your diamond in the rough, might be the person who is bagging your groceries that you've never actually been friendly with before. So you cannot take that chance, right? So just get out there, guys, and be friendlier. So those are my 7 tips. I hope you guys do it this week. Do you guys have any questions at all? Any other tips? I know Jen's on. She's been using the Add Friends really well, and it's really helped her expand her network a lot. All right, guys. Well, no questions. Thanks for hanging out with me tonight. Bye, guys.